everyone. You're welcome to another episode of our Monday Momentum. And today we're going to be talking about from accountability to ownership, the shift that changes everything, right? So, what if I told you that the key to unlocking your next level, whether in business, whether in leadership or life, is not just doing your part, but owning it, like owning the outcome? I know we hear the word accountability and we are stuck in it, like, okay, I'm accountable for this is my thing to do. But there's something deeper, there's something much more than just being accountable. And that's owning it, like ownership. And that ownership mindset is a very powerful mindset, is a mindset to have. Today we're going to unpack that shift from one to the other, because this shift is what changes everything. So if you're here, still say yes in the chat. So let me ask you a question. How many times or how many of you have ever done exactly what you were told to do? Like you've done exactly what you were told to do and you still felt like it wasn't enough. If that's you, if you can totally relate, please say something in the comment section. Say you can just raise your hand or you say yes, I can totally relate. Like you've been told to do something and you did exactly that, but deep down you felt like something was not complete, like you needed to go the extra mile. Exactly. Okay. So if that's you, just indicate in the comment section. Now, for me, that's accountability. What ownership does is that ownership goes a step further. Ownership goes a step further, is far beyond just being accountable. Accountability is about being responsible for when someone is watching you, you're responsible. Okay, I have the task to do. Okay, you go to your Asana, you check this. Okay, I have this to do, I have that to do. It's more like fulfilling expectations, hitting targets, doing what's required. That's what accountability is like. It's not bad, sincerely, it's not bad, or its part is necessary, but it does have limits. Accountability has limits. So if you've ever been accountable but not really invested in the result, what did that feel like? You know how you are accountable for something. I know I have a task I need to fulfill, and then you fulfill it or something, but you're not really invested. Like you're not doing it. There is no investment in it. If you can actually relate to, please indicate in the comment section. So you can think of it like this. Maybe in your team you have a team member who did not just do their task and they brought up something new. They brought up something new. They started something new. They brought up an initiative. They started thinking outside the box. Like I know in the community, in our team, right? Grace did something that was very remarkable, and she started this troubleshoot Thursday. That was going outside the box. So what she did was that she owned it. Like she looked beyond her task. She looked beyond, okay, the things that she needed to do and all that, and said, oh, okay, what can I add? What can I add to this? What can I how can I make things move smoother? How can I make things move faster? So for me, that's ownership. That's not just accountability, it's ownership. Okay, rather than just saying I checked the boss. What ownership does is that ownership will say, okay, I made the boss get us closer to our goal. Rather than, oh, check, like we went beyond, checking our boxes. So ownership is different, it's proactive. It's proactive. It's actually personal. Like you're taking stuff personal. It's about the outcome, not just the action. Ownership can ask, oh, what am I responsible for? What results am I here to deliver? How can I lead even without the title? That's what ownership asks. It's not just, okay, I have this to do. It's good to have the to-do list and all that, but you can, okay, like for me, I've been in that kind of situation where I was like, okay, I had this to do, I had this to do, and I was just checking my boxes. Okay, I've done this, I've done that, but I was like, no, I just need to think outside the box. Okay, how can I make this better? What can I do? And I said, okay, let me go ahead of myself. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me create this even before I'm being asked to do it. That's taking ownership. That's, going beyond just being accountable. So if you're right there, can you think of a moment, where you took ownership and it changed the results? What shifted for you in that moment? If you have an answer, please drop it in the comment section. I want to see your comments. If you can totally relate to this story, because I know we've all been there. You have Asana, you have your tax to click, you have everything to check. Oh, when you're done, you're like, I'm done now, I can rest. Like, what's that moment that you actually took? Was there a moment? Have you ever taken a moment like that? Do you ever have that moment where you took ownership and it changed the results? What shifted in that moment? I would love to see it in the comment section. So as I say, ownership is not also about it's not about perfection. It's not about being perfect. It's about agency. It says, I'm the author of this result. And that energy, that's magnetic. It changes teams, it changes companies, it changes lives. You know, let's put it this way. Let's do a comparison, right? Between thank you, okay, your token said when you realize that others are relying on you, okay. you know ac- let's break this thing down now. Okay, accountability and ownership. What accountability says is, oh, what's expected of me. Okay, let me ask, if accountability is saying what's expected of me, what do you think ownership will say? Can anyone try? If accountability is saying what's expected of me, what do you think ownership will say? What's possible through me? What's possible? If accountability is being reactive, what do you think ownership will be? Okay, I need someone to answer this one. It's very easy. I mean, the opposite of being reactive. Okay, okay. Dr. Singh said, what do I expect of myself? Yes, okay. So, if accountability, I ask again, if accountability is reactive, what do you think ownership will be? I want to hear people comments. Okay, I want to see your comments. Yeah, okay. Someone is typing. Total responsibility, proactive. Thank you. Thank you, Kachi. Thank you, Dr. Kim. So, yes, if accountability is reactive, ownership is proactive. Even before the time, like you're already thinking ahead of time, you're already thinking, like, okay, how do I get things better? How do I do things better? You're already being proactive, you're thinking outside the box. So, if accountability is driven by consequences, ownership is driven by purpose. If accountability is about fulfilling task, ownership delivers outcome. It delivers outcome. So the question now is this: where do you see yourself right now? More accountable or fully in ownership? And where do you want to be by the end of this quarter? Yes, it's a rhetorical question. You can also answer it in the comment section. Just feel free to answer it. Accountability, we've actually tried to look at the difference, compare them, and we're saying, okay, accountability is beautiful. It's good to be accountable. Very, very important. We talked about it in our last Monday momentum, but now we're going in a step further. That's why we're bringing in ownership, and we've tried to compare them. So where can you place yourself now? I need you to think about this. And you being more accountable, which is okay, or fully, taking ownership of results. Now, the next thing we'll talk about is how to practice ownership. So here's how to, start making the shift. Change your questions. Yes, I said change your questions. So from saying what's required, you say, what impact can I create? Instead of you saying, oh, what's required of me? What am I meant to do? What am I supposed to do? What you should be asking yourself is, what impact can I create? Own the vision. Own the vision. Connect your tasks to bigger vision missions or something. How does what I'm doing move the needle? Not just I want to just do my thing. Let it just be that I've done my thing, I've done my tasks. And no, no, no. I mean, remember we said accountability is about is because okay, someone is watching you, someone is expecting something from you, but ownership is on a different level. So you need to own the vision. That's the second step. We said the first step, change your question, own the vision, and then the third step is lead even without the title. A lot of people wait for the grandstand, a lot of people wait for the pulpit, kind of, a lot of people are waiting for the stage. Okay, till you're told that this is what you're supposed to be doing, and then you take no. You need to lead without the title. Ownership isn't about position, it's about posture. You can be in a company, might not even be the marketing manager or the manager of the, and it might just be maybe the customer service representative, but you're taking ownership of the job. And in one of our newsletters, we discussed earlier this year, we discussed, the CEO mindset, that shift that goes from just being an employee. to a CEO. You know, that CEO mindset. We talked about it in one of, so please do well to read our newsletters. You gain a lot of insights from there. So we talked about that. So that's also where ownership comes in. So you're thinking, okay, if I were this, okay, what would I do? This takes you to a different level totally. You know, which of these do you want to commit to starting this week? Now I'm asking everybody, I need everybody's response. Let me be sure you're here. So I said 3 steps: change your questions, own the vision, and then lead even without the title. So, which of these three are you committing to this week? Are you committing to asking a better question, a different question? Are you committing to owning the vision, not just fulfilling your task? Are you committed to leading without the title, like taking ownership of what you're doing without the title? That's the third one. Yeah. Then the fourth one I forgot to mention is celebrate the outcomes, not just checklists. I know we come to our meetings and we're like, okay, have you done this? Have you done this? It's good to be held accountable. That's perfect. That's beautiful. Now, much more than just thank you. Tutu said owning the vision. Yes, own the vision. Own it like it's yours. Connect your task to something bigger, to a bigger mission. Celebrate your outcomes, not just your checklist. Celebrate your outcomes. Okay, if this is what you did and you did this, celebrate it. It's good to celebrate. If you have also been reading our daily inspiration in the circle in our community in one of the spaces, you will also see it. Learn to celebrate your outcomes. Let's learn to celebrate yourself. Be unapologetic about it. Okay, Kachi saying owning the vision as well. Okay, so I'm yet to hear from the rest of the team. So I'll leave you with this. The shift from accountability to ownership is subtle. It's actually very subtle, but it's very powerful. It's very powerful. It's a powerful thing. It moves you from being assigned to something to being aligned with it. Like it's like, okay, I have an example. I have tasks, I have things to do, but sometimes it's as if I dream these things in my dream. I'm like, no, 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 I need to do this, I need to do that. Like, it's just there in my head because I've owned it. We're still growing, we're still getting better. So move from just being assigned a task to actually being aligned with it. When you own the outcome, you own your future. That's actually how it is. So I will leave you with this. What would happen in your business? What would happen in your team or your life if you stopped waiting to be held accountable and started acting like it's already yours to lead? What would happen? What would actually happen? Check your business now as it is. You're waiting for somebody to hold you accountable. Check your team. You know, you're waiting for someone to hold you accountable, like when you're being seen. Check your life. If you stopped waiting to be held accountable and started acting like it's already yours to lead, what do you think would happen? So that's the question I'm going to leave with you today. Thank you. So let's own it. Let's own it. Let's own it. Let's move from being accountable to ownership. Okay. So I'll go through the chats right now to see. Do you have any questions? Okay. Okay, we don't have any questions. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, great, great. Okay, Tutu said moving from assignment to alignment. Isaiah said take full responsibility and the vision. Beautiful, beautiful. So thank you so much. Yes, Kachi said fantastic. Thanks, Pandora. Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for making our time to be here. We'll see you again next week in our Monday Momentum. Same time, same venue. Thank you. Bye.